August 1st, 2022, 10 o'clock a.m. Honorable Madam Chair, Eugenia Charles Newton.
Charles Newton is present.
Honorable Madam Chair, Charles Newton is present. Honorable Vince James.
Delegate James present.
Honorable Vince James is present. Honorable Eugene So. Honorable Otto So. Honorable Edmund Yazzie. Honorable Eugene So.
Oh, of course it's Joe.
Honorable Eugene So is present. Honorable Otto So. Honorable Edmund Yazzie. Honorable Madam Chair, Charles Newton, you have 3 members present, which constitutes a quorum, Madam Chair.
Thank you for that, Sherelle. So with that, we'll go ahead and proceed forward to item number 2, recognizing guests and visiting officials. We do have 3 members of the Law and Order Committee who are present. Do we have anybody from the Office of the Speaker on the line?
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the Law and Order Committee. This is Nikita Kirk, Legislative Staff Assistant with Office of the Speaker, and I'm on the call. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikita. Thank you for being on the line. Do we have anybody present from the Office of Legislative Counsel?
Good morning, Madam Chair. This is Loya Kanachani Anderson with the OLC. I'm here present today. Thank you.
Thank you and good morning, Loya, for being on the line. Do we have anybody from Office of Legislative Services aside from Lorraine and Sherelle on the line? Okay, not hearing anything. Do we have anybody from the Judicial Branch on the line?
Madam Chair, Eugenia Charles Newton, and members of the Law and Order Committee. This is Joanne Jane on the line. Thank you.
Good morning, Chief Justice. Thank you for being on the line. Do you have any of your staff members who are currently on the line with you?
I believe there is. They can introduce themselves at this time.
This is Stephen at City, Administrative Director of the Courts.
Good morning. This is Yvonne Arvizo Gorman, Financial Services Manager. Thank you.
Thank you, Judicial Branch, for introducing yourselves. Do we have anybody from the Office of President and Vice President on the line?
Good morning, LOC. This is Tamara Johnson with the Office of the President, Vice President. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson, for being on the line. Do we have, I do see that we do have a couple of directors from the Executive Branch. Directors, would you like to introduce yourselves at this time for the record?
Good morning, Madam Chair and the committee. Jesse Delmar from Public Safety. I'm here with my staff, Deputy Chief Leonard Redhorse, and other staff. Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the Law and Order Committee. This is Kathleen Bowman from the Office of Navajo Public Defender.
Good morning. This is Kimberly Detcher, Deputy Attorney General. I'm on the line, and I have Barbara Calvin on the line, and Susan Eastman from the Navajo Legal Services Program is also attempting to get on the line. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam
Yeah,
Chair.
finish.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Oh, good morning, Madam Chair. Joe Aguirre, Office of Hearings and Appeals.
Yeah, finish. This is Chris Caldwell from Navajo Legal Services. Listening in for Susan Eastman. Hereby between so she was change the agenda to chair national bond national. Navajo Legal Services Day Johnson. Also.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for introducing yourselves at this time. Is there anybody else who wishes to announce themselves for the record?
Madam Chair, Honorable members of the Law and Order Committee, Angela Bitsui, Navajo Nation Labor Commission, standing by.
Dr. Gray Eyes with NDOC Public Safety.
Barbara
Good
Calvin
morning,
with
Director Michael Henderson from the Department of Criminal Investigations.
Eric Francisco, Internal Affairs, Navajo Division of Public Safety.
This is Barbara Calvin with the Navajo Nation Department of Justice, Office of the Attorney General.
Thank you, everyone, for introducing yourselves at this time. We do appreciate you all being on the line. I know that we are all super busy, so we'll go ahead and proceed forward to the next item on the agenda. That's review and adopt the agenda. Lorraine, can you go ahead and read the agenda into the record, please?
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the Law and Order Committee and those who are on the call. Agenda of the Law and Order Committee, 24th Navajo Nation Council special meeting through telecommunication, August 1st, 2022. 10 a.m. Presiding Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton, Chairwoman. Honorable Alfonso, Vice Chairperson. 1, call meeting to order, will call and invocation. Number 2, recognize guests and visiting officials. Number 3, review and adopt agenda. Number 4, review and adopt the journals, there's none. 5, receiving reports, none. 6, old business, none. 7, new business, legislation number 0120-22. B, legislation number 0121-22. C, legislation number 0129-22. D, legislation number 0130-22. C, legislation number 0131-22. F, legislation number 0138-22. G, legislation number 0140-22. 8, close the meeting, announcement and adjournment. Madam Chair, thank you.
Thank you for that, Lorraine. So with that, the agenda has been read into the record. Committee members, I do need a motion and a second at this time.
Motion, Delegate Jones. Hey,
Motion made by Honorable Vince James, second by Honorable Eugene So. So with that, committee members, are there any questions, any comments, or any amendments that need to be made to the agenda at this time?
Can you get the signature on? Okay, you can send it back to me because I need to send it to them right now there.
Barbara from DOJ, can you please mute your phone? Thank you. So with that, not hearing anything, we'll go ahead and proceed forward to the vote to accept the agenda as is. Sherelle, can you assist us with roll call vote, please?
Yes, Honorable Vince James, how do you vote?
Delegate James votes green.
Honorable Vince James votes green. Honorable Eugene So, how do you vote? Honorable Eugene So votes green. Honorable Otto So, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Honorable Otto So, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Honorable Madam Chair, Charles Newton, you have 2 in favor, 0 opposed, 3 not voting. Honorable Otto So absent, Honorable Edmund Yazzie absent, and Honorable Madam Chair, Charles Newton not voting. Madam Chair.
Thank you for that. So with that, with 2 in favor, 0 opposed, 3 not voting, the agenda hereby passes. We do have a quorum. So we'll go ahead and we'll proceed forward to the next item on the agenda. We do have review and adopted journals. There is none. Our item number 5, receiving reports. There is none. Item number 6, old business. There is none. Item number 7, we have legislation number 0120-22. That is here at Law and Order Committee, and we do need to vote on this. The sponsors now are myself and co-sponsored by Honorable Otto So. Honorable Otto So is currently not on the line. Shanella or Shajaa, can either one of you chair the meeting? In the meantime, while you guys are deciding, Lorraine, can you read legislation number 0120-22 into the record, please?
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the Law and Order Committee. Tracking number 0120-22. An action relating to Law and Order Committee approving and recommending to the Budget Finance Committee the fiscal year 2023 budget for the Navajo Nation Division of Public Safety and related matters to be included in the Navajo Nation's comprehensive budget for fiscal year 2023 be enacted. Section 1, Authority A. The Law and Order Committee, LOC, is a standing committee of the Navajo Nation Council with oversight authority over the judicial branch. 2, NNC, Section 600A, 2, NNC 601C1, B. Each oversight committee, including the LOC, shall review and make recommendations regarding the programs under its oversight responsibility regarding the Navajo Nation's comprehensive budget for the upcoming fiscal year. 12, NNC Section 840A. Section 2, findings. A, in accordance with 12 NNC Section 840A, the LOC held hearings and took relevant testimony regarding the FY 2023 budget for the Division of Public Safety. B, during these budget meetings, the LOC reviewed and considered the proposed FY 2023 budget for Division of Public Safety as commented upon by members of the public. Section 3, approving and recommending to the Budget Finance Committee the fiscal year 2023 budget for the Division of Public Safety and related matters. A, the Law and Order Committee hereby approves the FY 2023 budget for Division of Public Safety as detailed in the fund type budget summary attached here to as Exhibit A. B, the LOC hereby approves certain revisions to the branch chief proposed FY 2023 budget amount for the Division of Public Safety as shown in columns D and E in the general fund comparative summary attached here to Exhibit B. C, the LOC recommends the changes to the general fund budget described in Exhibit C. D, the LOC recommends certain conditions of appropriation and legislative concerns as listed in Exhibit D. E, the LOC recommends that certain unmet needs for the Division of Public Safety be included in FY 2023 comprehensive budget as explained in Exhibit F, or excuse me, Exhibit E. F, the LOC hereby recommends that the Budget Finance Committee approve the Division of Public Safety proposed FY 2023 budget and all committee recommendation as set forth in Exhibits A through E. G, as necessary and appropriate, the LOC hereby authorizes the LOC chair and vice chair to negotiate the LOC's recommendations herein with the Budget Finance Committee. Section 4, effective date. This act shall become effective as provided in 2 NC Section 189A. Section 5, saving clause. If any portion of this action is determined invalid by the nomination Supreme Court or by a district court of the nomination without appeal to the Navajo Nation Supreme Court. The remainder of this act shall be the law of the Navajo Nation. Attached is the exhibits from A, B, C, D, and E, and has gone through the 5-day comment process, and there are no comments or opposing or any recommendation or comments. Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Lorraine. So with that, committee members, we do have a legislation number 120-22 that is in front of us. This is for the Division of Public Safety. I believe that we did receive a memo regarding the carryover that is being requested at this time. Mr. Delmar, can you verify who that memo was sent to?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chair, out on the Law and Order Committee. Thank you very much. Yes, we met the item that you had requested for, which was information by memorandum. We did submit the information last week. It was submitted to you, Madam Chair, last Friday, I believe it was. So you have that information. The only other item was a sort of like a late submission that was done by the fire chief recently. He was pretty much asking for an extension too as well. We're asking if that could be considered. His main concern is pretty much a lot of pending ORs with the Navajo Nation. So he's thinking that they might expire towards the end of this fiscal year. So he's asking for an extension mainly because of that. I will defer at this time to Deputy Chief Leonard Redhorse. Go ahead, Chief.
Thank you, Executive Director Delmar. Indeed, Law and Order Chair, Ms. Charles Newton, and Vice Chair as well. Also committee members, I do appreciate the time. Indeed, the Navajo Police Department, the Navajo Division of Public Safety, and the components of the entire Navajo Division Public Safety Program are prepared in order to articulate the reasons for our particular budget request. As an overview summary in regards to our Wednesday's discussion, there were 3 issues that were identified by Honorable Vice Chair Vince James and Eugene So in regards to 3 items that needed to be corrected. And I'd like to go over them briefly. The first of which was ensuring that the titling for purposes of program account number 11601 was updated to make it very clear that it was an administration account. The second was the minor correction to ensure that tab 28 of the binder booklet reflected the $500,000 supplemental request by the Department of Emergency Management. Recall that the actual Department of Emergency Management budget did have the supplemental request for the 500. It was a clerical error in regards to tab 27 that did not have the notation for the 500,000. I believe it had like 245,000, but this was rectified in the submissions that were sent to Ms. Spencer in addition to Honorable Chair. The third issue is the carry forward in the amount of 2.7 million, which is a rounded up amount. We did meet the requirements for Eugene So and Vice Chair James to go ahead and submit that on or before the 27th of July. And this covers the MPD administration, Woodrock Police District accounts, Navajo Department of Criminal Investigations, and the Navajo Department of Corrections, in addition to the recent submission identified by Director Delmar for his particular report. Indeed, overall, the Navajo Division of Public Safety indeed requests your approval and solicitation for approval of resolution number 120-22 for Navajo Division of Public Safety for the $145 rounded up amount, which encompasses 18 programs within the Division of Public Safety, plus 3 special revenue accounts that actually affect fire, the Navajo Police Department, and the Navajo Department of Corrections. In summary, as an underview, this incorporates 10.3 million in general fund allocations, 126 million in contract fund allocations, and 8.8 million in special revenue funds. We should point out that the significant allocation of 145 million will go towards assisting our staff in their comprehensive planning, organizing, and implementation and administering of the public safety function and services that are critical to life, enhancing services to meet the needs and requirements of our people for the upcoming fiscal year of 23. And overall, the affected programs for Navajo Department of Emergency Management, Navajo Fire, Navajo Corrections, Navajo Department of Criminal Investigations, the Navajo Police Department Support Services, and other programs are critical to that particular servicing requirement. So that becomes a summary of the Navajo Division of Public Safety, and indeed the articulated request of Division Director Delmar. Director Delmar?
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. Madam Chair, that is our report this morning. One other item too is that the Budget and Finance Committee, they're convening this morning, and they're asking for my presence too as well, but that is our response. Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Mr. Delmar. We have received the documents. They have been sent to us. Committee members, there are quite a few documents that need to be downloaded, but we do have the Division of Public Safety that has sent in their memo requesting for the additional or the carryover at this point. We also have within that, we have the Public Safety Exhibit F1 and F2 that I believe those are the 3 documents at this point that do need to be added to the legislation. Delegate James or Delegate Eugene So, did either of you decide who's going to be chairing? Yes. Oh, Shuja.
Right now attending the funeral for my aunt. I had to squeeze out for a while to make that amendment.
Okay, but you're going to be on the line though?
I'll be on the line, yeah.
Okay, Vega.
I'm going to make that amendment if I can.
Okay, Delegate Vince James, I guess the floor is yours, Delegate Vince James.
Another chair. Although thank you for reading the legislation into record. Is there a motion?
Oh, Eugene So.
Kodoye desinage Honorable Eugene So Dolik.
Delegate James, for the amendment to legislation number 0120-22.
Oh.
Okay, I second.
Aquashina, I believe we received that email, the amendment, correct, Lorraine?
Yes, Pro Temp Chair, amendment to legislation number 0120-22 was sent by Legislative Council, and it was sent to all the committee members.
Question, Joseph, Vince.
Thank you for that information, Supervisor. I believe we have a question from Honorable Eugene So.
Yeah, did we amend and vote on this legislation? Last week, that's fine. Thank you.
Oh, Amendment 1 in line, Honorable Eugene So.
Yeah, my amendment was to One is page 2, line 24, okay, section 4. HK denote insert the attachment of the exhibit E, F1 and E2, AP dots. But
we got the email. Since we all received the email, that's what
Yeah.
what we're doing by.
Yeah.
So
It's for the record, yeah.
Okay, are there any questions to Amendment 1? Any question going once for Amendment 1? Going twice? All right, call for the question, Shabiza, for Amendment 1. Thank you.
Pro Tem, do you want me to read the amendment?
Go ahead. Oh.
Okay. Amendment was coming from legislative, so it will read as follows. 1, on page 2, line 24, insert new section 4 as follows. Section 4, recommending to the Budget Committee carryovers for the Navajo Division of Public Safety. A, the Law and Order Committee recommends the carryover of $546,590.30 or an unexpended balance for the Navajo Police Department Administration number 116001, Exhibit F1. Going to B, the Law and Order Committee recommends the carryover of $72,677.78 or an unexpended balance for the Navajo Police Department Window Rock District number 116008, Exhibit F1. Going to C, the Law and Order Committee recommends the carryover of $1,840,681 or an expended balance for the Navajo Department of Criminal Investigation number 116011, Exhibit F1. D, the Law and Order Committee recommends the carryover of $217,519.46 or an expended balance for the Navajo Department of Corrections number 116014, Exhibit F1. E, the Law and Order Committee recommends the carryover of an unexpended balance for the Navajo Nation Fire and Rescue Services from the Navajo Nation fiscal year 2022 into fiscal year 2023, Exhibit F2. And then going to number 2, insert and attach new Exhibit E, F1 and F2 to the legislation tracking number 0120-22. And then number 3, renumber or reletter succeeding paragraphs, sections, and exhibits as necessary and appropriate. The Office of Legislative Services and the Office of Legislative Counsel are hereby authorized to make technical edits to this legislation and exhibits to implement the council's intent in approving this legislation. This amendment shall supersede inconsistent language contained in any other council amendment, which language shall be conform to intent of or language of this amendment. Thank you, Pro Tem Chair.
Okay, nice church bell. So I already asked for the question, but I'll go ahead and go through it again. Question going once, question going 2 times, question on the red Amendment 1. Not, we already have a motion and a second. Shabiza, go ahead and do roll call.
Okay, Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton, how do you vote?
Delegate Charles Newton votes green.
Honorable Madam Chair Charles Newton votes green. Honorable Eugene So, how do you vote? Honorable Otto So, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazi, how do you vote? Honorable Eugene So, how do you vote? Honorable
Delegate
Otto's-
Vincent, I'm sorry, Delegate Eugene So he votes green.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Eugene So votes green via text. Honorable Aroso, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Honorable Vice Chair Vince James, you have 2 in favor, 0 opposed, 3 not voting. Honorable Aroso absent, Honorable Edmund Yazzie absent, and Honorable Vice Chair Pro Tem Vince James not voting. Chair.
I can't have done. Shanelle, Sherelle, thank you for that. I apologize earlier. I thought it was Shabuja, Ms. Spencer. But thank you for the roll call. Amendment 1 passes. So with that, we'll go ahead and go back to the main motion. Are there any questions on the main motion?
Delegate,
Any questions? Yeah.
Delegate
Shanelle?
James? Oh, I should have, so my question is, the exhibits, was that part of the amendment as well?
According to my email, the one I'm reading, can you clarify that for us on Shanelle, Shabuja? Spencer?
Thank you, Pro Temp Chair and members of the Law and Order Committee. So the exhibits F-1 will be all included, the ones that I read. And then also exhibit F-2, those were all done by a memo form. And I think that's how Legislative Council put it. And insert and attach a new exhibit E will be included with the changes F1 and F2 to the legislation, Madam Chair and Pro Temp. Thank you.
Another Honorable Madam Chair, does that answer your question?
Yes, I just want to make sure that they were included. I can't, Janella.
Any other questions on the main motion? Any other questions on the main motion? Going once? Main motion question? Going twice? Main motion question 3 times? No question? With that, Shanelle, Terrell, roll call.
Excuse me, Pro Temp, do we have a main motion on that? On 01/21?
That was myself and Eugene Sawyer.
Sherelle, did you get that?
What was that?
The main motion on this legislation?
No.
Pro Temp Chair?
Okay, I really thought we had a motion before I took over, but okay. Do I have a motion? OC committee members?
Janella, I believe that Delegate Eugene So texted in and he motioned.
Okay, here had Shanelle, Honorable Eugene So made a motion. Second,
I'll second Janella.
second by Honorable Madam Chair, Gina Charles Newton. Are there any questions for the main motion? Not, Vision, Ms. Spencer, can you read the record?
Terrell, go ahead.
Okay, Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton, how do you vote?
I vote green.
Honorable Madam Chair Eugenia Charles Newton votes green. Honorable Eugene Sell, how do you vote? Honorable Otto
Shanala Sherrill, Honorable Eugene So, just text and voting green.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Eugene So votes green via text. Honorable Otto So, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazi, how do you vote? Honorable Otto So, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazi, how do you vote? Honorable Pro Temp Chair, you have 2 in favor, 0 opposed, 3 not voting. Honorable Otto So absent. Honorable Edmund Yazi absent. Honorable Pro Temp Chair Vince James not voting. Chair.
Yeah, I had Shanala for that legislation passes. That I'll give the gavel back over to Shanala, Madam Chair. Eugenia Charles Newton.
Janella, thank you for assisting me with that. I will go ahead and proceed to the next item on the agenda. We do have legislation number 0129-22. The sponsor of this legislation is myself, Delegate Vince James. If you could also assist me with this at this time. Lorraine, can you go ahead and read the legislation into the record, please?
Tracking number 0129-22, an action relating to Law and Order Committee approving and recommending to the Budget and Finance Committee the fiscal year 2023 budget for the Navajo Nation Labor Commission and related matters to be included in the Navajo Nation's comprehensive budget for fiscal year 2023 being enacted. Section 1, authority. A, the Law and Order Committee, LLC, is a standing committee of Navajo Nation Council with the oversight authority over the Labor Commission. 2, and NC Section 600A, 2, and NC Section 601C1B. Each oversight committee, including the LOC, shall review and make recommendations regarding the programs under its oversight responsibility regarding the Navajo Nation's comprehensive budget for upcoming fiscal year 12 in NC Section 848, Section 2 findings. A, in accordance with 12 in NC Section 848, the LOC held hearings and took relevant testimony regarding the FY 2023 budget for the Labor Commission. B, during these budget meetings, the LLC reviewed and considered the proposed FY 2023 budget for Labor Commission as commented upon by members of the public. Section 3, approving and recommending to the Budget and Finance Committee the fiscal year 2023 budget for the Labor Commission and related matters. A, the Law and Order Committee hereby approves the FY 2023 budget for the Labor Commission as detailed and fund type budget summary attached here to as Exhibit A. B, the LLC hereby approves certain revisions to the budget to the branch chief's proposed FY 23 budget amount for the Labor Commission as shown in columns D and E in the general comparative summary attached here to as Exhibit B. C, the LLC recommends the changes to the general fund budget described in Exhibit C. D, the LOC recommends certain conditions of appropriation and legislative concern as listed in Exhibit D. E, the LOC recommends that certain unmet needs for the Labor Commission be included in FY 23 budget, FY 23 comprehensive budget as explained in Exhibit E. F, the LOC recommends that the Budget Finance Committee approve the Labor Commission's proposed FY 23 budget and all committee recommendation as set forth in Exhibits A through E. G, as necessary and appropriate, the LOC hereby authorizes the LOC chair and vice chair to negotiate the LOC's recommendations here with the Budget Finance Committee. Section 4, effective date. This act shall become effective as provided in NNC Section 189A. Section 5, saving clause. If any portion of this action is determined invalid by the Navajo Nation Supreme Court or by a district court of the Navajo Nation without appeal to the Navajo Nation Supreme Court, the remainder of this act shall be the law of the Navajo Nation, and attached is exhibits. The Navajo Nation General Fund, compare the summary, Exhibit A, B, C, D, and E are all attached. And this has gone through the 5-day comment process, and there are no comments supporting, opposing, or any other recommendations. Madam Chair, or Pro Tem. Thank you.
Thank you, Shabizia, for reading that into the record. With that, we do have a motion by the Honorable Eugene So. Do we have a second?
Charles.
I had Chanel, Honorable Eugene Charles Newton, second. Makes a second. Are there any questions? Are there any questions to legislation 0121-22? Going twice. Are there any questions to legislation 0121-22?
Chair Pro Tem.
Yes.
The Labor Commission submitted their new document from Exhibit A through E, and that will be inserted with the legislation 0129-22. Thank you.
Can you guys hear me?
We can barely hear you.
Or questions?
So with these at
Hear me now? Hello?
It's going in and out, Madam Chair.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Language that needs to be, and then I believe that I don't know if there are any exhibits that were sent to us that will also need to be attached as exhibits as well. So that's what I was trying to see if there were any questions.
then there's another Honorable Eugene Charles Newton. You keep going in and out.
Lorraine, can you hear me? Hello? Lorraine?
Okay, we can hear you, Chanela.
Okay, I said that there's an amendment language regarding the carryover, and there might be some exhibits that need to be changed out. That was what I was trying to say.
Do we have motion for Amendment 1? Or can you read that into the record, Shapiza? Let's do that first. I don't see any emails, though.
No, it doesn't unmute or mute. It just says the thing unless they have.
Vice Chair, Pro Temp Chair.
Yeah, Aida.
I did send the new exhibits and amendments to Honorable Madam Chair Charles Newton and the LOC members at 10:08 a.m. So on there includes the Labor Commission Exhibit A, B, E, and then the amendment to 0129-22 for Labor Commission. Pro Temp Chair.
Okay, thank you for that, Chanela. I do now see the email. I don't hit your email, yeah, that's the amendment. And I just received a text from Honorable Eugene So. He makes a motion to Amendment 1. Do I have a second to Amendment 1?
Second, Charles Newton.
Second made by Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton. Are there any questions pertaining to Amendment 1? It was also emailed to us at 10:08. Are there any questions to Amendment 1? Amendment 1, question, going 3 times to legislation 0129-22. Any questions? Then we have a motion and a second. So with that, roll call, Sherelle.
Okay, Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton, how do you vote?
Charles Newton votes green.
Honorable Madam Chair Eugenia Charles Newton votes green. Honorable Eugene So, how do you vote? Honorable Eugene So votes green. Honorable Otto So, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Honorable Otto So, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Honorable Pro Temp Chair Vince James, you have 2 in favor, 0 opposed, 3 not voting. Honorable Otto So absent. Honorable Edmund Yazzie absent, and Honorable Pro Temp Chair Vince James not voting. Chair.
Yeah, thank you. With that, we do have Amendment 1 that passed to legislation 0129-22. Going back to the main motion, you have a motion and a second. Do we have any questions? The main motion, legislation 0129-22.
Chanela, is that just this is Delegate Charles Newton, Chanela.
Madam Chair, Eugenia Charles Newton.
Oh, Chanela, is it just the carryover memo that we are going to include as an amendment, or does that include exhibits as well?
Include the exhibits as well.
Okay, thank you. No questions.
Pro Temp Chair.
Yat Eti Lakaina.
Anselm Bitsoy.
Question?
Yes,
Main
sir.
motion?
Question or clarification, after, presentation to law and order last, Thursday, we went to the speaker, I went to the speaker asking for, letter supporting, authorizing carryover. Speaker said that British Branch Chief did not, or they agreed not to allow carryovers. So he just, he gave us additional funds and we inserted those funds into what is now before law and order that was distributed by, Lorraine Spencer as a Friday. That's what's before law and order now. And we are not asking for carryover. Shanantai, honorable members.
Janella, this is Delegate Charles Newman.
Honorable Eugene Charles Newman.
Can you hear me, Janella?
Yes, we can, ma'am.
Okay, so we have not received an official memo regarding carryovers, meaning they have not told us that we cannot do any carryovers. I know that when Division of Public Safety came before Law and Order Committee, that question was asked, and my understanding is that that there is no official stance. So I guess if Mr. Anselm Vasili wants to go ahead and remove the memo regarding the carryover, then we can go ahead and do that. But just to be clear for everybody who is listening, the 24th Navajo Nation Council has not received an official memo stating how to handle carryovers. I believe that we were told that we can just approve it and then let it go through the process, or we can choose not to approve it. So if they don't want the carryover, Shanella, then let's just go ahead and vote on the legislation. Thank you.
Thank you, Shanella, Madam Chair, Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton. I'm trying to, can we get clarification from Shapija, Ms. Spencer? I'm reviewing the amendment. Hold on. Shapija?
Pro-Temp Chair, so the amendment is on page 2, line 22. Insert new section 4 as follows. Section 4, recommending to the Budget and Finance Committee carryovers for the Navajo Nation Labor Commission. A, the Law and Order Committee recommends a carryover, if any, from all business units be moved from Navajo Nation fiscal year 2022 into fiscal year 2023. Number 2, insert and attach a corrected Exhibit A and B to legislation number 0129-22. Number 3, insert and attach a new Exhibit E to legislation tracking number 0129-22. And then from there, we'll renumber or reletter succeeding paragraphs. Pro-Temp Chair.
So that doesn't include what Ms. Vasili clarified, right?
Pro Tem Chair, this is Loya Klanachni Henderson with OLC. Can I clarify that for you?
The article, thank you. All right.
Yes. So I did put in carryover language into the amendment, but there is no exhibit that is attached because a memo was not received. However, I did see that Exhibit A and B did change, and as such, the new corrected exhibits are attached to the amendment language so that we can get the updated Exhibit A and B with the different amounts attached to this legislation. I can quickly amend the amendment to take out the carryover language at this time and resend it out if that is what you would like me to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So what is your recommendation? Because we already voted on Amendment 1, which included the exhibits and the language. Thank you.
Let me just look at the rolls really fast. Since it was already voted on, I would again, let me just double check because we can keep the language and do an amendment, but let me just double check how we would do that in the rules, okay? It'll just be a second.
Shanella, this is Delegate Charles Newton.
Shanella, Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton.
Shanella, I think we can clarify this by asking Lorraine in Office of Legislative Counsel, has an official memo come out regarding carryovers? And the reason why I asked that question is because every budget year, we do get an official memo that provides information to us on how to handle carryover and also how to handle unmet needs. So that's usually provided to us right before budget hearing. At this point, I do not see it in my email, the official memo from Budget and Finance, from Speaker's Office, and from Office of Legislative Counsel, letting us know how we're supposed to address this. In my opinion, I think that we should just vote on it with the carryover, and if they decide that no carryover, then we can change the language at Budget and Finance. That's my recommendation. Otherwise, what I'm afraid of is if we remove the carryover language right now, it'll look like Budget and Finance, it'll look like Law and Order Committee didn't approve the carryover, which is why they didn't get it. And then in the event that carryovers are allowed, we're going to have a lot of our divisions and departments that are going to be, stuck because we didn't recommend carryovers from Law and Order Committee. So at this time, I recommend that we just proceed forward with the amendment, with the carryover language included in there. And if Budget and Finance wants to change this later on, they obviously have the opportunity to do that. But for the record, I do not believe, and that's why I need Lorraine Spencer and then also Loya to tell us, is there an official memo that has been released stating how to handle carryovers? Thank you.
Excuse me, this is Dana Bobroff. If I could just opine for a second, I think I could be helpful.
Thank you, Chief Legislative Counsel. Dana, you have the floor.
Okay. Good morning, and apologize. My voice is probably a little hard to understand. I have an ailment I'm recovering from, but I am not sure that there was an official memo that was sent out. However, in the recommendations that Office of Legislative Counsel and Office of Legislative Services made, carryovers should be handled as a amendment to the legislation itself. And I think that that's the way Loya and Lauren have advised you. Looks like how you're going. So that's fine, keeping in mind this is a recommendation to the Budget and Finance Committee. As far as unmet needs go, I think that people are handling those somewhat in the same fashion. The problem, of course, with unmet needs has been, if you look at last year's budget, most of those unmet needs were not okayed by either of the branch chiefs. So last year, the president line item vetoed almost every single one of the executive branch unmet need requests. So I'm just bringing that up so that programs on the line can be aware that they need to be talking with the president and I presume the Chief Justice, also branch chiefs, about the unmet needs. So I hope that wasn't too much info and I hope it was helpful, but it seems to me like Law and Order Committee is proceeding correctly as far as their recommendations to DNF go. Back to you, Chair Pro Tem. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that, Chief Legislative Counsel, Ms. Member. Yeah. Although, so we got the clarification. So with that, we were on calling for the question, calling for a vote. If there's no other questions.
Pro Tem Chair,
Shabija?
I have a question. So the
Okay.
amendment stays the same? Leave the
Yes, the
character
amendment
language
is the
in
same.
there? Thank
Yes,
you.
it will stay the same.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions on main motion to legislation 0129-22? Main motion? There's no other questions? There's no questions? Call for the question. Let's go to the board. Now that's Sherelle.
Honorable Madam Chair Eugenia Charles Newton, how do you vote?
Charles Newton votes green.
Honorable Madam Chair Charles Newton votes green. Honorable Eugene So, how do you vote?
I just received a text from Honorable Eugene So. He votes green.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Eugene So votes green via text. Honorable Otto So, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Honorable Otto So, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Honorable Pro Temp Chair, you have 2 in favor, 0 opposed, 3 not voting. Honorable Pro Temp Chair Vince James not voting. Honorable Otto So absent, and Honorable Edmund Yazzie absent. Pro Temp Chair.
Yeah, thank you. With that, legislation 0129-22 passes Law and Order Committee. With that, moving on to the next legislation, which would be legislation number 0130-22. That's Lorraine Fisher, can you read that into the record?
Thank you, Pro Temp Chair and members of the Law and Order Committee. Tracking number 0130-22, an action relating to Law and Order Committee approving, excuse me, and recommending to the Budget Finance Committee the fiscal year 2023 budget for the Navajo Nation Judicial Branch and related matters to be included in the Navajo Nation's comprehensive budget for fiscal year 2023 be enacted. Section 1, Authority. A, the Law and Order Committee, LOC, is a standing committee of Navajo Nation Council with oversight authority over the judicial branch. 2, NNC Section 600A, 2, NNC Section 601C1, B. Each oversight committees, including the LOC, shall review and make recommendations regarding the programs under its oversight responsibility regarding the Navajo Nation's comprehensive budget for the upcoming fiscal year 12, NNC Section 840A, Section 2 Findings A. In accordance with 12 NNC Section 840A, the LOC held public hearings and took relevant testimony regarding FY23 budget for the judicial branch. B, during these budget meetings, the LOC reviewed and considered the proposed FY 2023 budget for the judicial branch as commented upon members of the public. Section 3, approving and recommending to the Budget and Finance Committee the fiscal year 2023 budget for the judicial branch and related matters. A, the Law and Order Committee hereby approves the FY 2023 budget for the judicial branch as detailed in the fund type budget summary attached hereto as Exhibit A. B, the LOC hereby approves certain revisions to the branch chief's proposed FY 2023 budget amount for the judicial branch as shown in columns D and E in the general fund comparative summary attached hereto as Exhibit B. C, the LOC recommends the changes to the general fund budget described in Exhibit C. D, the LOC recommends certain conditions of appropriation and legislative concern as listed in Exhibit D. E, the LOC recommends that certain unmet needs for the judicial branch be included in the FY 2023 comprehensive budget as explained in Exhibit E. F, the LOC hereby recommends that the Budget Finance Committee approve the judicial branch's proposed FY 2023 budget and all committee recommendations as set forth in Exhibit A through E. G, as necessary and appropriate, the LOC hereby authorizes the LOC chair and vice chair to negotiate the LOC's recommendations herein with the Budget Finance Committee. Section 4, effective date. This act shall become effective as provided in 2 NNC Section 189A. Section 5, saving clause. If any portion of this action is determined invalid by the nomination Supreme Court or by a district court of the nomination without appeal to the Navajo Nation Supreme Court, the remainder of this act shall be the law of the nomination. And attached is the Exhibits A through E. And this has gone through the 5-day comment process. And there are no comments, supporting comments or opposing comments or recommendation included in this legislation. Thank you.
Thank you for reading that into the record. With that, I have a motion that was text by Honorable Eugene So. Do we have a second? Second to legislation.
Second by Charles Newton.
Okay, Shanala. Are there any questions to legislation 0130-22?
Janella, this is Delegate Charles Newton.
Oh, Shanala? Honorable Eugene
Yeah,
Charles
Janella,
Newton?
I just have one question. Were there any carryover requests or any exhibits that needed to be added to this legislation, Janella? Janella, did you hear me?
Oh, Shanala, I did hear you. Miss Bencher?
Can you hear me?
No, we didn't, Shabir.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, hold on just 1 second here. Okay, for judicial branch. There is a memo from Stephen City dated July 29th. Request for unextended FY 22 fund balances to be carried over to FY 2023. And that was sent out by Sherelle. I think it was Friday. And then going to amendment. Amendment for 0130-22 on page 2, line 22. Insert new section 4 as follows. Section 4, recommending to the Budget and Finance Committee carryovers for the Navajo Nation Judicial Branch. A, the Law and Order Committee recommends the carryover of $1,500,000 or unexpended balance for FY 2022 to be carried over to the FY 2023 as recommended in the 3-branch chiefs agreement signed on June 12, 2022, Exhibit F. Number 2, insert and attach updated Exhibit B to the legislation tracking number 0130-22. Number 3, insert and attach new Exhibit F to the legislation tracking number 0130-22. And then number 4 will be renumber or reletter succeeding paragraph. Pro Temp Chair.
I can't answer, Bridget. Another Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton doesn't answer your question.
Oh, Shanella, has anybody made a motion to amend the legislation to include that carryover amendment language?
No, the motion has been made. Okay, I just received a text from Honorable Eugene So. He's making a motion to Amendment 1.
I'll go ahead and second that motion.
And second by Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton. Are there any questions to Amendment 1? Any questions to Amendment 1, which was read by Ms. Spencer twice? Any questions? No questions for Amendment 1. So with that, Shanella, Sherelle, roll call.
Okay, Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton, how do you vote?
Charles Newton votes green.
Honorable Madam Chair Charles Newton votes green. Honorable Eugene So, how do you vote?
Received a text from Honorable Eugene So that he's voting green.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Eugene So votes green via text. Honorable Otto So, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Honorable Otto So, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Honorable Pro Temp Chair, you have 2 in favor, 0 opposed, 3 not voting. Honorable Pro Temp Chair, Vince James not voting. Honorable Otto So absent, and Honorable Edmund Yazzie absent. Pro Temp Chair.
With that, Amendment 1 passes. Going back to the main motion. Are there any questions on main motion? The legislation 130-22. Any questions to legislation 130-22? Any questions or main motion to legislation 0130-22? If not, no questions. Nella, Sherelle, roll call.
Okay,
Shanella,
Honorable.
you need to do a second reading.
Second reading, Shanella, is it busy? Ms. Spencer.
Okay, Pro Temp Chair, so amendment to legislation number 0130-22 on page 2, line 22, insert new section 4 as follows. Section 4, recommending to the Budget and Finance Committee carryovers for the Navajo Nation Judicial Branch. A, the Law and Order Committee recommends the carryover of $1,500,000 or unexpended balance for FY 22 to be carried over to FY 2023 as recommended in the 3-branch chief agreement signed on June 12, 2022, Exhibit F. Going to number 2, insert and attach updated exhibit B to the legislation tracking number 0130-22. Number 3, insert and attach a new exhibit F to legislation number or legislative tracking number 0130-22, and then number 4 will be renumber or reletter succeeding paragraphs. Pro Temp Chair. Thank you.
Thank you for the second reading here, Supervision, and I apologize for skipping over that. There's still no questions. There's still no questions. With that, Canella, Sherelle, roll call for legislation 0130-22.
Okay, Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton, how do you vote?
Charles Newton votes green.
Honorable Madam Chair Eugenia Charles Newton votes green. Honorable Eugene Sell, how do you vote?
Receive the text from Honorable Eugene So, and he votes green.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Eugene So votes green via text. Honorable Otto So, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Honorable Otto So, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Honorable Pro Temp Chair, you have 2 in favor, 0 opposed, 3 not voting. Honorable Pro Temp Chair Vince James not voting. Honorable Otto So absent, and Honorable Edmund Yazzie absent. Pro Temp Chair.
Thank you, Shanella. With that, legislation 0130-22 passes with 1 amendment. Okay, moving on to the next legislation, legislation 0130-22. Supervision, Ms. Spencer.
Pro Temp Chair, is that legislation 0131-22?
Oh.
Okay. Excuse me, Sherelle, can you go ahead and send out the memo from DOJ? Thank you. So going to tracking number 0131-22, an action relating to Law and Order Committee approving and recommending to the Budget Finance Committee the fiscal year 2023 budget for the Navajo Nation Department of Justice and related matters to be included in the Navajo Nation's comprehensive budget for fiscal year 2023 being enacted. Section 1, Authority A, the Law and Order Committee, LLC, is a standing committee of Navajo Nation Council with oversight authority over the judicial branch. 2, NNC Section 600A, 2, NNC Section 601C1B. Each oversight committee, including the LOC, shall review and make recommendations regarding the programs under its oversight responsibility regarding the Navajo Nation's comprehensive budget for the upcoming fiscal year 12, NNC Section 840A. Section 2, Findings A. In accordance with 12 NNC Section 840A, the LLC held hearings and took relevant testimony regarding FY 2023 budget for the Department of Justice. B. During these meetings, the LLC reviewed and considered the proposed FY 2023 budget for Department of Justice as commented upon members of the public. Section 3, approving and recommending to the Budget and Finance Committee the fiscal year 2023 budget for the Department of Justice and related matters. A, the Law and Order Committee hereby approves the FY 23 budget for Department of Justice as detailed in the Untitled Budget Summary attached here to as Exhibit A. B, the LLC hereby approves certain revisions to the branch chief's proposed FY 23 budget amount for the Department of Justice as shown in columns B and E in the General Fund Comparative Summary attached here to Exhibit B. C, the LLC recommends the changes to the General Fund budget described in Exhibit C. D, the LLC recommends certain conditions of appropriation and legislative concern as listed in Exhibit D. E, the LLC recommends that certain unmet needs for Department of Justice be included in the FY 23 but comprehensive budget as explained in Exhibit E. F, the LLC recommends that the Budget and Finance Committee approve the Department of Justice proposed FY 23 budget and all committee recommendation as set forth in Exhibits A through E. G, as necessary and appropriate, the LLC hereby authorizes the LLC chair and vice chair to negotiate the LLC's recommendations herein with the Budget and Finance Committee. Section 4, effective date. This act shall become effective as provided in 2 NNC Section 189A, Section 5, saving clause. If any portion of this action is determined invalid by the Navajo Nation Supreme Court or by a district court of the Navajo Nation without appeal to the Navajo Nation Supreme Court, the remainder of this act shall be the law of the Navajo Nation. Attached or the exhibits, the Navajo Nation Fund Type Budget Summary, Exhibit A, B, C, D, and E are all attached. Following that is the 5-day comment process, and there are no comments supporting or opposing comments or recommendations. Pro Temp Chair. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Supervisor. Do I have a motion? Motion for legislation number 0131-22. Motion going twice for legislation number 0131-22. Received the text from Honorable Eugene So, makes a motion. Do we have a second?
Second by Charles Newton.
Second for legislation 0131-22, second by Honorable Eugene R. Charles Newton. Are there any questions?
Mr. Chair?
Question? Yes.
This is Deputy AG Kimberly Dutcher. At our hearing last week, you had asked us that we submit a memo with our amounts of carryover, and that was submitted. So I just wanted to make sure that the committee is aware of that, and if there was anything that needed to be addressed about it, that was done. So today as well. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, thank you. Going back to Ms. Supervisor, Ms. Spencer.
Yes, Pro Temp Chair and members of the Law and Order Committee. So DOJ did submit a memo to Law and Order, and it's Department of Justice estimate amount carryover. Requested attached is the FY 22 anticipated Department of Justice carryover amount. These amount are estimate amounts. We still are anticipating spending to September 30th, 2022. So in a unit number, business unit number 0104005, Office of the Prosecutor, requesting for $169,200. And 104002, Navajo B Legal Services, $4,081.06. And then going to 104001, Office of the Attorney General, in the amount of $64,421.95. Estimate total carryover amount is $237,703.01. And then the rest will show you the amounts of the Office of the Prosecutor, Office of the Navajo Legal Services, and also Office of the Attorney General that was submitted. And then so the Exhibit E will be change out, there is a Navajo Nation recommended unmet needs budgets attached to this document. Thank you.
Okay, I asked Shabiza for that information. So we did receive the information. Are there any other questions? Any other questions regarding legislation 0131-22? Any other questions regarding legislation 0131-22? Going twice? Final call for questions for legislation 0131-22.
Janella,
We
did
have-
somebody make a motion to amend the legislation to do the carryovers and the exhibits?
And then no motion.
Am I allowed to motion or am I only allowed to second?
Shanella, I just received a text from Honorable Eugene So to make a motion for Amendment 1. What was just read by Shabiza, Ms. Spencer? Motion made by Honorable Eugene So for Amendment 1. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Shanella, Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton. Second to Amendment 1. Are there any questions regarding Amendment 1 to legislation 0131-22, Amendment 1? Questions? Going twice. Questions to Amendment 1 of legislation 0131-22. Final call. Okay. We have a motion on the floor for Amendment 1 to legislation 0131-22. Roll call, Shanella, Sherelle.
Okay, Honorable Madam Chair Eugenia Charles Newton, how do you vote?
Charles Newton votes green.
Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton votes green. Honorable Eugene So, how do you vote? Honorable Otto So, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Honorable Eugene So, how do you vote? Honorable Otto So, how do you vote?
Shanella, Sherelle, I just received a text from Honorable Eugene So voting green.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Eugene So votes green via text. Honorable Otto So, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Honorable Pro Temp Chair, you have 2 in favor, 0 opposed, 3 not voting. Honorable Pro Temp Chair Ben Shames not voting. Honorable Otto So absent. Honorable Edmund Yazzie absent. Pro Temp Chair.
I can't add on Shanella, Sherelle, for that. With that, Amendment 1 to legislation 0131-22 passes. Going back to the main motion of legislation 0131-22. Main motion. Any questions? Shabiza?
Chair,
Oh, Shabiza?
can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Ms. Spencer.
Okay, let me read the second reading here to legislation number 0131-22.
Okay, let me, is there any other, this is final call for questions regarding legislation 0131-22? No other questions? With that, I'll go ahead and move on to the second reading. Shabiza, Ms. Spencer, second reading.
Okay, amendment to legislation number 0131-22 on page On page 2, line 23, insert new section 4 as follows. Section 4, recommending to the Budget Finance Committee carryovers for the Navajo Nation Judicial Branch. A. I think this is the wrong one. Must be DOJ.
If I may, that looks like a clerical error that I'll need to update. So I will do that immediately and send it right back out.
Made a mistake. Remember the unmet need. And I nix. These numbers have to go here. Yeah. 5, 3, 1.
Thank you for the time. I have sent it out the updated amendment. Thank you.
That's correct, but
Can you hear me, Pro Temp Chair?
Oh, Mr. Bridger, we can hear you.
we need to.
Go
Okay,
ahead, the floor is
go
yours.
ahead and read the amendment to, or let me read the amendment. On page 2, line 23, insert new section 4 as follows. Section 4, recommending to the Budget Finance Committee carryovers for the Navajo Nation Department of Justice. A, the Law and Order Committee recommends a carryover amount of $237,703.01 or an expended balance from business units 104005, business unit 104002, and business unit number 104001 be moved from the Navajo Nation fiscal year 2022 into fiscal year 2023, Exhibit F. Number 2, insert and attach a new Exhibit E and F to legislation tracking number 0131-22, and then number 3, renumber or re-letter succeeding paragraphs. Pro Temp Chair.
I can't. Thank you for the second reading of legislation. That roll call. Terrell, Chanela?
Okay, Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton, how do you vote?
Charles Newton votes green.
Honorable Madam Chair Charles Newton votes green. Honorable Eugene So, how do you vote?
Honorable James received a text from Honorable Eugene So. He votes green.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Eugene So votes green via text. Honorable Otto So, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazi, how do you vote? Honorable Otto So, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazi, how do you vote? Honorable Pro Temp Chair, you have 2 in favor, 0 opposed, 3 not voting. Honorable Pro Temp Chair Vince James not voting. Honorable Otto So absent. Honorable Edmund Yazi absent. Pro Temp Chair.
Here had Chanela Sherrill. With that, legislation 0131 22 passes with one amendment. Moving on to the next legislation, legislation number 0138-22. Supervisor Spencer.
Honorable Chair. Honorable Pro Tem Chair.
Yes.
This is Joe Aguirre, Office of Hearings and Appeals. For some reason, our legislation hasn't come forth. We're scheduled to be second before the Labor Commission on legislation number 0121-22. For some reason, we were skipped. And we are ready to proceed if it's okay.
Supervisor, Ms. Spencer, we get clarification?
Yes, Pro Temp Chair, we did skip 121-22, which is the nomination Office of Hearing and Appeals.
Okay, thank you very much. With that, let's finish out the legislation, then we'll go back to item B. I apologize for that.
Thank you.
With that, moving on to new business F, legislation number 0138-22. Supervisor, Ms. Spencer.
Thank you, Pro Temp Chair and members of the Law and Order Committee. Tracking number 0138-22, an action relating to Law and Order Committee approving and recommending to the Budget Finance Committee the fiscal year 2023 budget for the nomination public defender and related matters to be included in the nominations comprehensive budget for fiscal year 2023 be enacted. Section 1, authority. A, the Law and Order Committee, LLC, is a standing committee of the nomination council, excuse me, council with oversight authority over the, I think that's supposed to say nomination public defender that has judicial branch. 2 NNC section 600A, 2 NNC section 601C1. B, each oversight committee, including the LLC, shall review and make recommendations regarding programs under its oversight responsibility regarding the nominations comprehensive budget for the upcoming fiscal year 12 NNC section 840A, section 2, findings A, in accordance with 12 NNC section 840A, the LLC held hearings and took relevant testimony regarding the FY23 budget for a public defender. B, during these budget meetings, the LLC reviewed and considered the proposed FY 2023 budget for the public defender as commented upon members of the public. Section 3, approving and recommending to the Budget Finance Committee the fiscal year 23 budget for the public defender and related matters. A, the Law and Order Committee hereby approves the FY 23 budget for the public defender as detailed in fund type budget summary as attached here to as Exhibit A. B, the LOC hereby approves certain revisions to the branch chief's proposed FY 23 budget amount for public defender as shown in columns D and E in the general comparative summary attached here as Exhibit B. C, the LOC recommends the changes to the general fund budget described in Exhibit C. D, the LOC recommends certain conditions of appropriation and legislative concerns as listed in Exhibit D. E, the LOC recommends that certain unmet needs for the public defender be included in the FY 23 comprehensive budget as explained in Exhibit E.
Under
F, the LLC hereby recommends that the Budget and Finance Committee approve the public defender's proposed FY23 budget and all committee recommendations as set forth in exhibits A through E, G, as necessary and appropriate. The LLC hereby authorizes the LLC chair and vice chair to negotiate the LLC's recommendations herein with the Budget and Finance Committee. Section 4, effective date, this act shall become effective as provided in 2 NNC Section 189A. Section 5, saving clause. If any portion of this action is determined invalid by the Navajo Nation Supreme Court or by a district court of the Navajo Nation without appeal to the Navajo Nation Supreme Court, the remainder of this act shall be the law of the Navajo Nation. Attached is the exhibits from A through E and has gone through the 5-day comment process. And there are no comments supporting or opposing comments or recommendations to this legislation. Chair Pro Tem, thank you.
Go ahead, Shabija, for reading that into the record. With that, do we have a motion for legislation 0138-22? Do we have a motion for legislation 0138-22?
Mr. Chair Pro Tem, this is
we have
Kathleen.
a motion by Honorable Eugene So. Do we have a second?
Second, Charles Newton.
Second made by Honorable Eugene Charles Newton. Are there any questions regarding legislation 0138-22?
Mr. Vice Chair Pro Tem.
Oh, Yade.
Yat A the Kathleen Bowman Yanishia. I need to let you know that we're preparing an amendment of Exhibit E. I just now noticed that there's been an error on there for our unmet needs. The numbers that are put in there are for 80 hours of time, staff time, and actually the number should have been for 2,008 hours. So the figures will change for that unmet needs portion. The total being 145,447, and then the three positions. The first one would be 34,385, and the number 2 and 3, the second and third positions would be $55,531. And we just now did the amendment, and we'll email it to Laureen and give a copy to Office of Legislative Counsel, so that the unmet needs portion is actually for 2,008 hours of unmet needs, and in Form 3 we only budgeted for 80 hours. Thank you. That's what I need to let you know. We're going to send a copy of the amended Exhibit E over to Laureen right now.
Okay, thank you for that. And then we'll wait for that email.
Okay, I apologize for this oversight. I don't know how it happened.
Go back to the main motion for legislation 0138-22. Are there any questions?
This is Delegate Charles Newton. I do have a question.
It's another Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton.
Email it to
I thought we were only going to do approval for the carryover. I don't remember doing anything about the unmet needs. Can you clarify for us on how you want to handle that, Chair?
Do you mean me, Miss Charles Newton?
Siya Chanela Honorable Eugene Charles Newton. We have not received an email yet, but verbally, if that is the case, I guess we'll wait for the email and then see what it states on there. But right now, it's just mainly the budget and the carryover. Do you have a response, Ms. Bowman?
Yes, Mr. James. I do have, the Exhibit E is being corrected and it's being sent, but I did request by letter carryover funds. And it's for, if we fill these 3 positions that are in our unmet needs, we will need overhead to pay for furniture, computers, supplies, bar dues, and so forth. And the other part of the carryover money that may be necessary would be for, in the event my office is relocated, there may be expenses for moving and also for rent. That is on hold right now because we're still trying to find office space for my office because of environmental hazards and also the possibility of falling rocks that are located right behind my office. I did include those that information in my letter to Mr. Otto So. He's the one that requested letters, so I addressed the letter to him for carryover. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bowman, for that information, but I'm waiting for the email, but to give you a response, but from my understanding, we're not approving any unmet needs budget, and that's why I'm asking of the email until we receive that email, we can't address, or I can't give you an official response. If it's unmet needs, we're not going to address it today.
Okay, I understand that, Mr. James, but I just need to get the amended exhibit in that should have been sent in the first place last week. But if we're just dealing with carryover, I am requesting that my office be allowed to carry over unspent funds. Thank you, sir.
Oh, yeah, thank you, Ms. Bowman.
Pro Tem Chair, I have a question. This is Leah Henderson with OLC.
The floor is yours.
Thank you. Included in the amendments, I did put the amendment to Exhibit E, which is the request for unmet needs to be reviewed. So they are in the amendments as additional exhibits to include in the legislation. If the committee is only looking at carryover, then I will send out a new updated amendment that will exclude the addition of Exhibit E. So the amendments that I wrote today, if there was an Exhibit E included in the request, I did include that in my amendments to be discussed today as well. I wasn't clear that it would only be, the committee was only looking at carryover requests today. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Honorable Eugene Charles Newton.
All right, thank you, Chair Pro Tem, for that. I guess we'll just have to see what the language coming out from Office of Legislative Counsel.
Okay, thank you.
And,
are there any other?
And I can clarify that, Pro Tem Chair.
Okay, go ahead. You have the floor.
Thank you. Madam Chair, the only language that is in the amendments is to add exhibit E. And so there's no additional language for the unmet needs. It is just to recognize that an exhibit E is attached, and that is part of the recommendation of the Law and Order Committee, that the unmet needs be recognized as well, or recommended as well. Thank you.
Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton.
Mr. Chair Pro Tem, I'm perfectly fine with the.
Hold up, Ms. Bowman. Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton.
I think my questions were answered, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Moving on, Ms. Bowman.
Thank you, Mr. James. I'm perfectly fine with the Exhibit E not being looked at today because this was for the purpose of the carryover funds. All I wanted to do was make sure that Exhibit E is replaced with an amended copy of Exhibit E, and it may not even be used for any purpose, but it's just to correct the amount of carryover. Did you send it to Lorene? The amount of carryover, Lorene Spencer. Yeah. The amount of Exhibit E that was incorrect. That was the only purpose, was to let you know that it was amended, and we sent over a copy that has been corrected. But I do need carryover funds for my program. Thank you.
Okay, I thank you for that. Shabija, have we received that information yet? And has it been emailed? Thank you.
Not yet, Pro Temp Chair.
Okay, we are on legislation number 0138-22, which is sponsored by Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton and co-sponsored by Honorable Otto So. We are waiting for language to be emailed to us from Office of Legal Counsel, so that's where we are at. Just a real quick recap. We'll continue to hold for Legal Counsel.
Pro Tem Chair, this is Leonard Anderson with OLC. So I have,
yes.
Thank you. I have the amended language ready to go, which would include the Exhibit E that we had received. I still don't have an amended copy of the Exhibit E. So at this time, I'm just inquiring whether or not you need a new amended language to exclude Exhibit E, or if I should keep it with the inclusion of Exhibit E at this time.
The way Ms. Bowman put it was that it was going to be emailed to Ms. Spencer, and then from there, Ms. Spencer will be emailing you that information.
Okay, thank you.
Shabizit, Ms. Spencer, did you receive anything?
Okay, I think I got one here. Oh, hold on. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I received it here. Let me send it out. Hold on 1 minute.
Since we don't have a motion or a second regarding the language, let's go ahead and move on to carry over.
I sent it, Pro Temp Chair,
Yes.
I sent it out.
Okay, and then I believe legal counsel is going to
Yeah.
have to insert that in the amendment again. So with that, let's pass this for now and then move on to Amendment 1 for the carryover. Can you read that into the record, Division, Ms. Spencer?
Okay, hold on 1 second.
May I interject 1 second here? This is OLC again.
Go ahead.
Thank you. The amendment language is all ready to go to include the new exhibit E. All that would need to be changed is that this new exhibit E be attached to the amendment instead of the one that I included in the first email that was sent out at 10:08. So the amended language is already ready to go to include this exhibit E. Thank you.
Ray, DC, I don't know which one's ready, Ms. Spencer, Division.
Okay, hold on. I don't have that amendment. Hold on. I'm sorry, I got it here. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Division.
Okay, sorry. Amendment to legislation 0138-22 on page 2, line 22, insert new section 4 as follows. Section 4, recommending to the Budget and Finance Committee carryovers for the Navajo Nation Public Defender. A, the Law and Order Committee recommends the carryover, if any, from the general funds from the Office of Navajo Public Defender, business unit number 104003, be moved from Navajo Nation fiscal year 2022 into fiscal year 2023. These funds will be utilized for employment of 3 positions which are not fully funded in the proposed FY 2023 budget. Exhibit F. Number 2, insert and attach new exhibit E and F to legislation tracking number 0138-22, and then number 3 will be renumber or relitter succeeding paragraphs. Pro Temp Chair.
Okay, Division, with that, do I have a motion? Do I have a motion for Amendment 1? Legislation 0138-22? we have a motion going twice? Motion made, I just received a text from Honorable Eugene So to make a motion. Do I have a second for Amendment 1 to Legislation 0138-22? Calling for a second for Amendment 1 to Legislation 0138-22.
Point of privilege, Chair.
Point of privilege. Another Honorable Eugenia Charles Newman.
Yeah, thank you, Chair Pro Tem. My point of privilege is with the last amendments that were made on the language, was there mention about the unmet needs, or was it just the carryover language with the previous ones that we did approve?
Shavisha, Ms. Spencer.
So Madam Chair and Pro Temp, those that were approved previously, those budgets, the fiscal year 2023, for example, this budget here from Exhibit A through E on the last page, Exhibit E, I believe, E, it has FY fiscal year 23 executive branch budget review hearing, additional funds / unmet needs request summary. Those are where all the probably the unmet needs were, those that were requesting for unmet needs that would go on that form on Exhibit E. If I'm correct, maybe Legislative Council can help me.
Legislative Council.
Thank you, Pro Tem Chair. To answer your question, Madam Chair, the language in the legislation under Section 3, letter E states, the LOC recommends that certain unmet needs for the department, insert the department, be included in the fiscal year 2003 comprehensive budget as explained in Exhibit E. So the amendments that have passed with a new Exhibit E that is filled out with the amounts of the unexpected needs. Let's see, the only one that has passed that I have been tracking is legislation number 0131-22 for the Department of Justice. And the, let's see, additional two that I see that have a requested new amended Exhibit E are legislation 13822 for the Navajo Nation Public Defender and legislation 0140-22 for the Navajo Nation Ethics and Rules Office. Those are the only legislations or offices that provided an updated Exhibit E for a request for unmet needs. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you for the response. Chanela, Honorable Eugenia Charles Newman.
I asked that question because we haven't received the amendment language yet from OLC, unless it's in the documents that Sherelle sent out this morning.
Shavisha, Ms. Spencer.
I can answer that, if I may.
Legal Counsel, go ahead.
Madam Chair, there is no amended language. There's only amendments to switch out the exhibit because the language is already in the legislation and it does not change. The only thing that would change is the actual exhibit that would be that was previously attached as blank. And the new exhibit E would be the amounts of the unmet needs that our OLC is recommending. So the only change to the legislation would be the exhibit, not exhibit E, not necessarily any language. So language is already present in the legislation. Thank you.
So now that the Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton.
Thank you, Chair Pro Tem. It is kind of hard to keep up because we don't have the actual amendment language in front of us, which is why I'm really confused about what's going on. I can see the previous amendment language for the other divisions and departments, but for Public Defender's Office, I don't see it. And what I'm worried about is if we recommend the unmet needs for Public Defender's Office, that wouldn't be fair to the other divisions and departments because I don't think that that's what we did. And, you know, I thought we were only going to be approving the carryovers, and that's why I made that statement. Again, it is difficult to, you know, to say that I know what's going on because I don't have the amendment language in front of me. Thank you.
Vice Chair or Pro Tem?
Mr. Bridget, Ms. Spencer.
Yes, so the amendment is the one that was sent out by Sherelle this morning. It's in there 0138-22. You have to move your cursor where all those listings are. I found one that was underneath there, so you have to move your cursor around to look for the document. So the amendment is there for 0138. And it has the carryover language on there also. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bridget. How much time do you guys need to send out that information? Maybe we can do a recess until you get those information emailed out to us.
Yes, Pro Temp, I can have Sherelle send it again. Sherelle, can you send that one out by Legislative Council? The one that she sent to me with all those amendments? Thank you.
Yes, I'll go ahead and forward it out right now again.
Okay, so Chair Pro Tem.
Chanela, Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton.
Okay, so the I do have the exhibit open for the Public Defender's Office. I do see the Exhibit F, which does state the business unit number as well as the request for the carryover funds. And then the Exhibit F, you know, what I'm looking at also, like, there's no separate exhibit number that has been attached to the unmet needs request. So is that, I mean, I guess I just need to know, since we're swapping it out, is that the reason why it says only Exhibit F? Can I get some clarification on that? Thank you.
Thank you. So now that the Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton, Legal Counsel.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So the language on the amendment for section 4 is because the legislation as read or as drafted does not include carryover language. However, in the legislation, section 3 does include language for recommendation of Exhibit E, which is the unmet needs. And so the language is in the legislation, and it follows Exhibit E. So all the legislations, when they were drafted and the exhibits were sent in and attached to the legislation, Exhibit C, D, and E were left blank for the committee to review and approve. And so the language is there for recommendations of a new Exhibit E, if OLC decides to approve a new Exhibit E. And so what the insert and attached new Exhibit E is stating is that the proposed unmet needs Exhibit E is now going to be adopted by the LOC to be recommended to the Budget and Finance Committee next. And we would just need to attach the new Exhibit E, but there is no new language that needs to be put in the exhibit because the language is going to still remain the same under section 3. I hope that answers your question.
Mr. Chair Pro Tem. This is Kathleen Bowman.
Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton. Hold on, Ms. Bowman.
Thank you, Chair Pro Tem. I guess I just want to make clarification that when we're making this recommendation, that we're making the recommendation only for the carryover. Because I don't think that we as a committee talked about the unmet needs for any of the divisions and departments. And I don't think that we agreed as a committee that we were going to approve the unmet needs. And the reason is because, and I could be wrong on this, but I thought that the carryover, they said it would be up to the committee, but they weren't going to be approving any unmet needs this year, is what I recall that was being said during the first day of budget hearing. So I just want to make sure that, we're not, as a committee saying that we approve the unmet needs, because I don't think we approved any unmet needs for any of the divisions and departments. That's why I was asking, is it separate? Are we only approving the unmet needs right now? And I know that the exhibit needs to be changed out with the, I'm sorry, we're only approving the carryover right now with the memo that has been given to us. But, with the unmet needs, is that going to be, I would just feel more comfortable if it was 2 separate actions. One, saying that the Law and Order Committee, approves the carryover in the amount of whatever we are approving. I think at this point I did pull it up. sorry, with the carryover of I'm sorry. Actually, there's not even a carryover amount on here. It's just saying carryover funds, whereas with the other memos that we've seen, there's been the carryover amount that has been included in the memo. So that's where I feel uncomfortable. I will not second an amendment that is saying that we're going to approve the unmet needs. The only thing that we have been talking about is the carryover amount, and looking at the memo, it doesn't even give us the carryover amount to be approved. Thank you.
Pro Tem Chair,
Ms. Spencer, Supervisor?
yeah,
Ms. Spencer?
Hello.
hey, okay, I'm sorry, I was off. So your legislation 013-822, you have your legislation that went through the 5-day comment. So you have your legislation and then you have your exhibits from A to E. So in that category of your exhibits, D and E. So going to E on the top of the page, it will read the nomination recommended unmet needs budgets. I think some in there in that form, that's where most of the programs, they put their unmet needs budget there. And then along with the memo for carryover. Thank you, Pro Tem Chair.
Mr. Pro Tem Chair, this is Ms. Bowman.
Ms. Bowman, I have you down. Just hold on.
Okay, thank you.
Honorable Eugenia Charles Newman?
Thank you, Chair. But if you look at the document, Lorraine, look at the document. The unmet need form is not E. There's not exhibit E on there. It just says, that at least the one that I have in front of me right now, it says exhibit F. And then it has the unmet needs, memo. And it just says, this is my written request for approval of carryover funds for fiscal year 2022, funding from the general funds for the Office of Navajo Public Defender. And then it talks about like the unknown amount of unspent funds under business unit 104003. And then it talks about the 3 positions, which are not fully funded. But then if you scroll down and you look at the fiscal year 2023 Executive Branch Budget Review Hearing Additional Funds Unmet Needs Request Summary, that's where you see those 3 positions, and it's not even stamped as Exhibit E. This is, the way I'm looking at it is the request for the unspent funds is Exhibit F, plus the justification for the 3 positions. So what I want to know is the carryover amount. If you guys don't know what the carryover amount is, like how can we say that the carryover amount is going to be able to fund 3 positions? I'm not seeing that. And so that's why I'm a little bit confused, because when I read this, it looks like there's a request for unmet needs. And that's where if we approve this, the way that I'm reading this is if we approve this, we're approving the unmet needs and the 3 positions. Even though it says carryover, without knowing what the carryover amount is, I can't say if the carryover is going to be enough for 3 positions. Does that make sense, Chair?
It's another Honorable Eugenia Charles Newman. Yes, that does make sense. Division? Ms. Spencer?
Yes, Vice Chair.
Do you understand the information? So where is the language? Has that been emailed to us or not?
That was the one that Sherelle emailed, and those
No. The one from legal counsel. Remember, the legal counsel said that they were working
that's
on
the
it.
one that Sherelle sent to you this morning. It has all the amendments and the
No,
amendment
just
language.
recently, just right before Sherelle emailed, the legal counsel indicated that they were still working on the amendment. So that language, AD Geesh, does that have the unmet needs information in there too?
Let me check. Hold on.
Chair Pro Tem.
Legal counsel? You have the floor.
Chair Pro Tem, this is Delegate Charles Newton.
Chanela, Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton.
Yes, so Chair, if you look at amendment, like the language, it says amendment to 0138-22, and the amendment language says this, Chair. It says on page 2, line 22, insert new section 4 as follows. Section 4, recommending to the Budget and Finance Committee carryovers for the Navajo Nation Public Defender. And then it says A, the Law and Order Committee recommends the carryover, if any, from the general funds for the Office of Navajo Public Defender number 104003 to be moved from Navajo Nation fiscal year 2022 and fiscal year 2023. These funds will be utilized for employment of 3 positions which are not fully funded in the proposed fiscal year 2023 budget Exhibit F. And that's where it gets me, Chair, is it says these funds will be utilized for employment of 3 positions which are not fully funded in the proposed fiscal year 2023 budget. So that's why I'm a little bit concerned, because I'm wondering, is it unmet needs or is it carryover? Because if you look at the amendment language, it's saying that it's carryover, but now with the amendment language, it's saying that the 3 positions are not fully funded in the fiscal year 2023 budget. So to me, that language sounds like it's unmet needs. That's why I'm questioning, okay, are we approving a carryover or are we approving unmet needs? And then if you look at the attachments say, you know, they have Exhibit F and it has the 3 positions posted, but again, there's no carryover amount. So we don't even know at this point if there's enough money in their carryover amount for 3 positions. Thank you.
Legal counsel?
Thank you, Pro Tem Chair. Madam Chair, to answer the question, and perhaps I can get clarification from the Public Defender's Office as well. The Exhibit F was a memo that was to be provided to the Law and Order Committee. In the memo, they were to identify the business unit number and the reasoning for carryover. And in the memo that was received by the public defender, they identified the business unit and requested that the carryover be given to fund the employment of 3 positions. And so the recommendation or the memo there, as I read it, is identifying the business number, the carryover to be used for these unfunded positions. Additionally, they provided a updated Exhibit E, which clarifies additional unmet needs that they have. And also it does look like they are looking at additional carryover or additional funding for positions in their request for unmet needs as well. So I believe in the request, they're stating that any of the carryover amounts is going to fund the positions, if there's any, and additionally, they are requesting additional funding for positions for the public defenders. Again, that language for the unmet needs is not in this amended language, but I do, it is only for the carryover, and it looks to me that they are requesting the carryover to fund these positions. I hope that provides some more clarification.
None, Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton.
Yeah, it does. But you know, again, looking at looking at the previous amendments that we approved, as well as the carryover, just to avoid confusion, Shanella, what I would like to recommend is that we approve the legislation with no carryover and without the amendments. That way, we can get it to Budget and Finance, and then we can have Budget and Finance fix the problem. That way, and I'll make it clear to Budget and Finance that Law and Order Committee does recommend the carryovers, but we never had discussions on the unmet needs, just so that they know and that the language is clear in that. So that's what I would like to recommend at this time, Shanella.
Okay, Shanella, since you're the sponsor, let me go back to, now let me go to Ms. Bowman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair Pro Tem. I requested carryover because I do not believe that I will be able to fill these 3 positions. In fact, I've had 2 vacancies plus 2 more that were added last year, 4 vacancies for legal staff. I barely recruited 1. And I don't, you know, I have doubts that I would fill any more unless I'm able to find someone. So if I do, I will need the money to buy their furniture, computers, and so forth. That's why I requested carryover. And I know the carryover amount is unknown at this time. And as you might recall, my expenditure rate was very low, so there is carryover money available. And I know that the personnel funds can't be used for that. In all the years that I have been here, I have never overspent my budget. So if I hire someone, I would make sure that there are funds available to hire that person in the carryover amounts, and even in the money that is unspent in the budget. So there are a lot of things that I don't know now. I don't know if we'll be able to relocate. We're in a very hazardous location, and we have materials in our office that are environmental hazards as well. So I have no idea how much money will be needed to address those issues. But I have never hired someone without having the money to pay them. So I'm still requesting that my carryover request be approved. And as far as Exhibit E, I don't know where the misunderstanding is, but that was just like Ms. Charles Newton said, that was just to swap out the exhibit so that the exhibit is correct. And it doesn't say that you're recommending that. Is just informing you that that's what I did, that I only funded 80 hours in Form 3, and that the rest of the amounts are not budgeted for. But I have serious doubts that I would be able to hire anyone. So maybe that issue won't come out about the amount of money that's unknown for the carryover. I have no idea how much that amount would be. Anyway, I still need carryover funds because of the unknowns that I'm faced with right now, which is unknown how many people I'll be able to recruit, and unknown if we do get relocated and I have to spend money for moving expenses and rent. We're in a precarious position here in this office, and the rocks have been breaking and splitting, and they continue to do so. That changes over time, and I'm worried about the winter, and if snow falls in the cracks and expands when it freezes, I don't know what will happen with those rocks in the back of the office here. The last memo that I received was they were going to ask an engineer to come over and look at it and see what can be done, but that is also an unknown. So that's my reason for requesting carryover funds. And the other reason, the other thing that I brought was just to correct, just to amend Exhibit E, because the wrong figures were put on the Exhibit E. That's merely the only thing that I wanted to correct was Exhibit E, and it's just to put down the unmet needs, and that's to let you know that those positions are not fully funded on Form E. Thank you. I hope this clarifies what has been a long discussion here, that I'm asking for carryover funds, and that's all I'm asking for at this point. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Bowman. It sounds like you would need to set up a meeting with your sponsor, Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton. She has already recommended to the committee that we're just going to move forward with the legislation. So with that, we're moving forward. We do have a motion and a second regarding legislation 0138-22, which is the main motion of the legislation. Yes.
Chair Pro Tem, I'm so sorry. This is Delegate Charles Newton. I just want to say just really quickly, Director Bowman, that we will recommend to Budget and Finance, when we get to Budget and Finance, that the Law and Order Committee recommends a carryover. And I will let them know that there was a confusion with the exhibit that was sent. So we will be recommending the carryover. I just want you to know that. We'll just make the amendment at Budget and Finance once the language has been corrected. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. With that, roll call for the main motion of legislation 0138-22. I don't think we need a second reading because there is no amendment.
Okay, Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton, how do you vote?
Charles Newton votes green.
Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton votes green. Honorable Eugene So, how do you vote? Honorable Otto So, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Honorable Eugene So, how do you vote?
So now that you're out, Honorable Eugene, so text voting green.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Eugene So votes green via text. Honorable Otto So, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Honorable Pro Temp Chair, you have 2 in favor, 0 opposed, 3 not voting. Honorable Pro Temp Chair Vince James not voting. Honorable Otto So absent, and Honorable Edmund Yazzie absent. Pro Temp Chair.
Thank you, Sherelle. With that, legislation 013822 passes. Moving on to the next item, which is under new business, item G, legislation number 0140-22. Mr. Bishop, Ms. Spencer.
Thank you, Pro Temp Chair and members of the Law and Order Committee. Members, tracking number 0140-22, an action relating to Law and Order Committee, approving and recommending to Budget and Finance Committee the fiscal year 2023 budget for the Navajo Nation Ethics and Rules Office and related matters to be included in the nominations comprehensive budget for fiscal year 2023. Be enacted, Section 1, Authority A, the Law and Order Committee LLC is a standing committee of the Nomination Council with oversight authority over, I believe it's supposed to be ethics and rules. 2, NNC Section 600A to NNC 601C1. B, each oversight committee, including the LLC, shall review and make recommendations regarding the programs under its oversight responsibility, regarding the nomination comprehensive budget for the upcoming fiscal year 12 and NC subsection 840A, section 2 findings A, in accordance with 12 NNC section 840A, the LLC held hearings and took relevant testimony regarding FY 2023 budget for Ethics and Rules Office. B, during these budget meetings, the LLC reviewed and considered the proposed FY 2023 budget for the Ethics and Rules Office as commented upon by members of the public. Section 3, approving and recommending to the Budget and Finance Committee the fiscal year 2023 budget for the Ethics and Rules Office and related matters. A, the Law and Order Committee hereby approves the FY 23 budget for Ethics and Rules Office as detailed in fund type budget summary attached hereto as Exhibit A. B, the LLC hereby approves certain revisions to the branch chief's proposed FY 23 budget amount for the Ethics and Rules Office as shown in columns D and E in the general fund comparative summary attached hereto as Exhibit B. C, the LLC recommends the changes to the general fund budget described in Exhibit C. D, the LLC recommends certain condition of appropriation and legislative concerns as listed in Exhibit D. E, the LLC recommends that certain unmet needs for the Ethics and Rules Office be included in the FY 23 budget, comprehensive budget as explained in Exhibit E. F, the LLC hereby recommends that the Budget and Finance Committee approve the Ethics and Rules Office proposed FY 23 budget and all committee recommendation as set forth in Exhibits A through E. G, as necessary and appropriate, the LLC hereby authorizes the LLC chair and vice chair to negotiate the LLC's recommendations here with the Budget Finance Committee. Section 4, effective date, that this act shall become effective as provided in 2 NC Section 189A, Section 5, saving clause. If any portion of this action is determined invalid by the Navajo Nation Supreme Court or by a district court of the Navajo Nation without appeal to the Navajo Nation Supreme Court, the remainder of this act shall be the law of the Navajo Nation. And attached is the exhibits, the Navajo Nation fund type budget summary, Exhibit A through E are all attached. It has gone through the 5-day comment and there were no comments or no opposing comments and no comments or recommendation to this legislation. Pro Temp Chair, thank you.
Yeah, Township Busy, thank you for reading that into the record. Do we have a motion? Do we have a motion for legislation number 0140-22? Do we have a motion for legislation number 0140-22, sponsored by Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton, co-sponsored by Honorable Otto So, approving, recommending to the Budget and Finance Committee 2023 budget for the Navajo Nation Ethics and Rules Office and related matters. Motion, received a text, made a motion by Honorable Eugene So. Do I have a second? for legislation number 0140-22.
Second, Charles Newton.
Second by Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton. Are there any questions? Amendments? Comments?
Chair, there is an amendment. If Honorable Eugene So could make the motion, there was an amendment to legislation number 0140-22 that was sent out, and this is to approve or recommend carryover approval for $59,304.64. I just got a text
Okay.
message, Chair.
Yeah, I just received the text message too. With that, can you read that into record, Shabija? Amendment 1, just carry over amendment.
Thank you, Pro Temp. Is there a motion?
Motion made by Honorable Eugene So. Through text, we just received a text from him.
Okay. Amendment to legislation number 0140-22 on page 2, line 23, insert new section 4 as follows. Section 4, recommending to the Budget Finance Committee carryovers for the Navajo Ethics and Rules Office. A, the Law and Order Committee recommends the carryover of $59,304.64 or an unexpended amount for the Ethics and Rules Office. Business Unit 101020 for travel expenses, supplies, lease, and rental, communication and utilities, repair and maintenance, and special transaction. Exhibit F. Number 2, insert and attach corrected Exhibit B to legislation tracking number 0140-22. Number 3, insert and attach new Exhibit E and F to legislation tracking number 0140-22. And then 4 is to renumber or reletter succeeding paragraphs. Pro Temp Chair, thank you.
Okay, I apologize. So he had Shabija Spencer for reading that, and then we have a motion made by Honorable Eugene So. Do I have a second?
Second, Charles Newton.
Second made by Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton for Amendment 1 regarding carryover only. Are there any questions?
Pro Temp Chair, this is, may I?
I apologize, I didn't hear you. Who is this again?
Oh, sorry, this is Boya with OLC.
Okay, go ahead, legal counsel.
Thank you. I just wanted to state that I did send an updated amendment. And so what was read on the record was the first amendment, not the new amendment, which took out needs exhibit. And so the new amendment that I just sent out does not include exhibit E. The unmet needs, since the LOC is only looking at carryover requests today. Thank you.
Thank you for the clarification. With that, Shabija, Ms. Spencer, can you read that new document back into record?
Okay, Chair Pro Temp, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so amendment will read as follows. On page 2, line 23, insert new section 4 as follows. Section 4, recommending to Budget Finance Committee carryovers for the Navajo Nation Ethics and Rules Office. A, the Law and Order Committee recommends the carryover of $59,304.64 or unexpended amount for Ethics and Rules Office. Business Unit 101020 for travel expenses, business travel expenses, supplies, lease and rental, communications and utilities, repair and maintenance, and special transactions. Exhibit F. Number 2, insert and attach corrected Exhibit B to legislation tracking number 0140-22. So right here will be the change. Number 3, insert and attach a new Exhibit F to legislation tracking number 0140-22. And then number 4 will be renumber or reletter succeeding paragraph. Pro Temp Chair, thank you.
Thank you, and that was a motion, text motion, a text that I received to motion, which was done by Honorable Eugene So. And so before I accept that motion, this is where I need clarification. Do we need to withdraw with the first motion and second that was made?
Yes, we do, because there was a new
Okay.
amendment offered.
Okay, so with that, Honorable Eugene So, with the First Amendment, do you withdraw? And I just received a text, and he does withdraw his motion. Shanale, Honorable Eugene Charles Newton.
Yes,
You
I withdraw
withdraw
my
your-
second.
Okay. With that excludes that First Amendment. Now moving back on to the actual corrected change that we just now received an email and that was read into record. And I received a text message for a motion on that second updated amendment that we received, and that was done by Honorable Eugene So. Do I have a second?
Second, Charles Newton.
Second made by Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton. Are there any questions to Amendment 1? Any questions to Amendment 1, which is Amendment 1 to legislation number 0140-22, and it's only carryovers amendment. Going once. Any questions? Going 2 times. Final call for questions for Amendment 1 to legislation number 140. Now we have a motion on the floor. No questions. With that, roll call.
Okay, Honorable
Terrell.
Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton, how do you vote?
I vote green.
Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton votes green. Honorable Eugene So, how do you vote?
Received text from Honorable Eugene So, voting green.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Eugene So votes green via text. Honorable Otto So, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Honorable Otto So, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Honorable Pro Temp Chair, you have 2 in favor, 0 opposed, 3 not voting. Honorable Pro Temp Chair Vince James not voting. Honorable Otto So absent, and Honorable Edmund Yazzie absent. Pro Temp Chair.
Thank you, Shanala Sherrill. With that, Amendment 1, legislation 0140-22 passes. Going back to the main motion, are there any questions? The main motion? Are there any questions to the second call for questions for legislation 140-22 main motion? Final call for questions to legislation 0140-22. No questions. With that, second reading, and then we'll go straight to voting since there's no questions. Second reading, Shabija, Ms. Spencer.
Thank you, Pro Temp Chair and members of the Law and Order Committee. Amendment to legislation number, or the second reading is to 0140-222. One, on page line 2, line 23, insert new section 4 as follows. Section 4, recommending to the Budget and Finance Committee carryovers for the Navajo Nation Ethics and Rules Office. A, the Law and Order Committee recommends the carryover of $59,304.64 or an unexpended amount for the Ethics and Rules Office Business Unit 101020 for travel expenses, supplies, lease and rental, communications and utilities, repair and maintenance, and special transactions. Exhibit F. To insert and attach corrected Exhibit B to legislation tracking number 014-22. Number 3, insert and attach a new Exhibit F to legislation tracking number 0140-22. And then number 4 will be renumber or reletter succeeding paragraph by Pro Tem Chair.
Shanala, thank you. Shapija, Ms. Spencer, for the second reading. With that, we'll go ask for a roll call. Another, Ms. Sherrill.
Okay, Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton, how do you vote?
I vote green.
Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton votes green. Honorable Eugene So, how do you vote?
Delegate Eugene So votes green via text.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Eugene So votes green via text. Honorable Otto So, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazi, how do you vote? Honorable Otto So, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazi, how do you vote? Honorable Pro Temp Chair, you have 2 in favor, 0 opposed, 3 not voting. Honorable Pro Temp Chair Vince James not voting. Honorable Otto So absent, and Honorable Edmund Yazi absent. Pro Temp Chair.
Thank you, Shanala, Sherrill. With that, legislation number 0140-22 passes with 1 amendment. Okay, going back up to new business, item B, legislation 0121-22. I apologize for skipping you earlier. Bridger?
Yes.
Spencer, can you read that into the record?
Thank you, Pro Temp Chair and members of the Law and Order Committee. Tracking number 0121-22 and action relating to Law and Order Committee approving and recommending to the Budget Finance Committee the fiscal year 2023 budget for the Navajo Nation Office of Hearings and Appeals and related matters to be included in the Navajo Nation's comprehensive budget for fiscal year 2023 be enacted. Section 1, authority. A, the Law and Order Committee is a standing committee of the Navajo Nation Council with oversight authority over Judicial Branch. 2, NNC Section 600A, 2, NNC Section 601C1. B, each oversight committee, including the LLC, shall review and make recommendations regarding the programs under its oversight responsibility regarding the Navajo Nation's comprehensive budget for the upcoming fiscal year 12 in NC Section 840A. Section 2 findings. A, in accordance with 12 in NC Section 840A, the LLC held hearings and took relevant testimony regarding the FY 2023 budget for the Office of Hearing and Appeals. B, during these budget meetings, the LLC reviewed and considered the proposed FY 2023 budget for the Office of Hearing and Appeals as commented upon by the members of the public. Section 3, approving and recommending to the Budget and Finance Committee the fiscal year 2023 budget for the Office of Hearings and Appeals and related matters. A, the Law and Order Committee hereby approves the FY 23 budget for the Office of Hearings and Appeals as detailed in the untyped budget summary attached here to as Exhibit A. B, the LLC hereby approves certain revisions to budget to the branch chief's proposed FY 23 budget amount for the Office of Hearing and Appeals as shown in column D and E. General Fund comparative summary attached here to as Exhibit B. C. The LOC recommends the changes to the general fund budget described in Exhibit C. D. The LOC recommends certain condition of appropriation and legislative concerns as listed in Exhibit D. E. The LOC recommends that certain unmet needs for the Office of Hearings and Appeals be included in the FY 23 comprehensive budget as explained in Exhibit E. F, the LLC recommends that the Budget Finance Committee approve the Office of Hearing and Appeals proposed FY 23 budget and all committee recommendations as set forth in Exhibit A through E. G, as necessary and appropriate, the LOC hereby authorizes the LOC chair and vice chair to negotiate the LOC's recommendations herein with the Budget Finance Committee. Section 4, effective date. This act shall become effective as provided in 2 NC Section 189A. Section 5, saving clause. If any portion of this action is determined invalid by the Navajo Nation Supreme Court, or by a district of the Navajo Nation without appeal to the Navajo Nation Supreme Court, the remainder of this act shall be the law of the Navajo Nation. Attached is the Navajo Nation Fund Type Budget Summary as Exhibit A. B is also attached, C, D, and E, and has gone through the 5-day comment process. There are no comments received, no opposing comments, and no recommendation to this legislation. Thank you. Pro Tem Chair.
Bishop, thank you for reading that into the record. We have a motion for legislation 0121-22.
There's a motion, or did you say you need a motion?
I need a motion. Motion for legislation number 0121-22. Motion made by Honorable Eugene So for legislation 0121-22. Do I have a second?
Second, Charles Newton.
Second made by Honorable Madam Chair Eugenia Charles Newton. Are there any questions to legislation 0121-22?
Question, Chair.
Question? Another, Madam Chair?
Oh, at 106, Loya Henderson sent out an email on behalf of Office of Hearing and Appeals. It's an amendment language as well as amendments to Exhibit A and B and F. So I just want to make you aware of that. So maybe Delegate Eugene So can make the motion on that amendment. Thank you.
There has been a request made for an amendment 1, and motion by via text by Honorable Eugene So. Ms. Spencer, can you read that amendment? Thank you.
Thank you, Pro Temp Chair. Amendment to legislation number 0121-22 on page 2, line 25, insert new section 4 as follows. Section 4, recommending to the Budget Finance Committee carryovers for the Navajo Nation Office of Hearing and Appeals. A, the Law and Order Committee recommends the carryover of $224,068.83 or unexpended balance for a new building business unit number 9052 that meet safety standards and handicap standards. The current Office of Hearing and Appeals building will be condemned. B, the Law and Order Committee recommends a carryover of 15,000 or an unexpended balance for land improvements number 9014 to be used for demolition of old infrastructure to prepare site for a new building. C, the Law and Order Committee recommends a carryover of 10,000 or unexpended balance for parking lot / sidewalk / handicap ramp number 9026. D, the Law and Order Committee recommends a carryover of 7,000 or unexpended balance for water lines number 9038. E, the Law and Order Committee recommends the carryover of 5,000 or unexpended balance of power lines number 9040. F, the Law and Order Committee recommends the carryover of 5,000 or unexpended balance for water or wastewater number 9042. Number 2, insert and attach Exhibit A and B to legislation tracking number 0121-22. Number 3, insert and attach new Exhibit E and F to legislation tracking number 0121-22, and 4 will be renumber or reletter succeeding paragraphs. Vice Chair. And there was a new exhibits A through E that was emailed and they were sent out already. And the new exhibit F, which is the request for carryover, the memo to Paulson Chaco, OVP, VP, Chief of Staff, Office of the President, Vice President, from Trudy A. Armijo, Administrative Assistant, Office of Hearing and Appeals, request for FY22 carryover funding. Pro Temp Chair, thank you.
Thank you very much. And that there was a motion by Honorable Eugene So. Do I have a second?
Second, Charles Newton.
Second made by Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton. Are there any questions to Amendment 1?
Pro Tem
Any
Chair,
questions?
Loya from OLC.
Okay, go. OLC, you have the floor.
And thank you, Pro Tem Chair. I just wanted to state that the amendment was the one that was read in, was the one that was sent out at 10 this morning, not the one that I had just sent out at 1:07. And I just want to state that the one read into on the record right now does include the Exhibit E, which was deleted from the updated amendment that I just sent out. Thank you.
Okay, so with that, only another withdrawal of motion. To yet Honorable Eugene So, would like to, do you wish to withdraw your motion? Withdrawal of a motion, going once. Request for withdrawal. I just received a text from Honorable Eugene So to withdraw motion to the Amendment 1 that was read into record, which was from this morning. There was a new version that was emailed out earlier, a few minutes ago.
Chair, that's why
Another Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton, do you withdraw your second motion?
Yeah, and Chair, that's why I pointed to the email that was sent at 1:06 p.m. from Loya Henderson. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Amendment 1 has been withdrawn. There is a new version that was just sent out a few minutes ago. Ms. Spencer, Bridger?
Okay, Pro Temp Chair, so everything stays the same from A to F. And then number two, the exhibit A and B stays the same. And then number three, insert, attach a new exhibit F.
There's been withdrawn, so you would have to
Insert
reread
and
it.
attach a new exhibit F to legislation tracking number 0121-22. So the exhibit E is deleted from that paragraph. Pro Temp Chair.
Okay, with that, do we have a motion with the new version that was just emailed a few minutes ago? Do we have a motion for Amendment 1? Motion made by Honorable Eugene So. Do I have a second to Amendment 1? Do we have a second for Amendment 1 of the new version? Second made by Honorable Eugene Charles Newton. Are there any questions regarding the new version of Amendment 1? Are there any questions regarding Amendment 1 to legislation 0121, the new version that was just emailed to us a few minutes ago? Going twice. Final call for question of Amendment 1. We do have a motion on the floor and a second on the floor. With that, roll call. Shanella, Sherelle?
Okay, Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton, how do you vote?
I vote green.
Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton votes green. Honorable Eugene So, how do you vote?
Via text, Honorable Eugene So votes green.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Eugene So votes green via text. Honorable Otto So, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Honorable Otto So, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Honorable Pro Temp Chair, you have 2 in favor, 0 opposed, 3 not voting. Honorable Pro Temp Chair Benton James not voting. Honorable Otto So absent. Honorable Edmund Yazzie absent. Pro Temp Chair.
Thank you, Shanella. With that, Amendment 1 passes. With that, moving on back to the main motion to legislation 0121-22. Are there any questions to legislation number 0121-22 on the main motion? Final call. Question on the main motion, legislation 0121-22. We do have a motion and second on the floor. With that, roll call.
Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton, how do you vote?
I vote green.
Honorable Madam Chair Eugenia Charles Newton votes green. Honorable Eugene So, how do you vote?
Eugene So votes via text green.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Eugene So votes green via text. Honorable Otto So, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Honorable Otto So, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Honorable Pro Temp Chair, you have 2 in favor, 0 opposed, 3 not voting. Honorable Pro Temp Chair Benton James not voting. Honorable Otto So absent. Honorable Edmund Yazzie absent. Pro Temp Chair.
Thank you for that, Sherelle. With that, legislation number 0121-22 with 1 amendment passes. With that, moving on to the next item, that does complete our new business. Moving on to the next item, number 8, close of meeting. Before that, we have an announcement. August 8th, 2022, 10 a.m. regular LOC teleconference meeting. August 15, 2022, 10 a.m. via teleconference regular LOC meeting. August 23rd, 2022, 10 a.m. via teleconference regular LOC meeting. Are there any other announcements? Committee members? Going once? Going twice? No announcement?
Chair Pro Tem.
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem.
Division?
For August 15th, I believe that's a holiday, Navajo Code Talkers Day. Might have to select another date. Thank you.
Okay, we'll get that information to you, and then if not, I guess we can discuss it on August 8th. Thank you, Shabija. No other announcement? With that, do I have a motion for adjournment? Motion to adjourn? Do I have a motion? Motion made by Honorable Eugene So to adjourn at 1:25 p.m. Do I have a second for adjournment?
Second, Charles Nguyen.
Second made by Honorable Eugenia Charles Newton. Are there any questions regarding adjournment of LOC meeting at 1:25 p.m.? We have a motion and we have a second. Going twice. Final call for adjournment. Question? We have a motion and second on the floor. With that, roll call around the horn.
Honorable
Well-
Eugenia Charles Newton, how do you vote?
I vote green.
Honorable Madam Chair Eugenia Charles Newton votes green. Honorable Eugene So, how do you vote?
Via text, Honorable Eugene So votes green.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Eugene So votes green via text. Honorable Otto So, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Honorable Otto So, how do you vote? Honorable Edmund Yazzie, how do you vote? Honorable Pro Temp Chair, you have 2 in favor, 0 opposed, 3 not voting. Honorable Pro Temp Chair James not voting. Honorable Otto So absent, and Honorable Edmund Yazzie absent. Pro Temp Chair.
Thank you, Shanada Shura. With that, LOC has adjourned at 1:25 p.m. Thank you, everyone. Have a good afternoon. Enjoy your day.
Thank you, Chair, for helping me today.
Oh, Shanada. Have a good day.
Thank you all.
Good day. I'm not